without much ado, I'll call on the leader of the Green Army, the youth organizer of NDC, Opare Ado, normally called Opare Ado, Pablo. Let's welcome him to address the media.
Demands your devotion, and therefore unite to uphold and big and great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved. In building our motherland. Thank you very much. We are all involved in building our motherland, and the nation Ghana demands of all of us our devotion. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I welcome you all today to today's press briefing at this critical and challenging times that our dear country finds itself courtesy the maladministration of the Nanado Mahmudu Bawumia NPP party government. To the many Ghanaians watching and listening to us via the various media channels, I crave your indulgence to spare us some moments of your precious time to join us trumpet the need to save our beloved country from this incompetent, dishonest, and reckless government. Young people have lost hope in our republic, and rightly so, due to the recklessness of the NDC Mahmudu Bawumia administration. Ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday, February 3rd, 2022, the National Youth Wing of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, notified the police to stage a demonstration, dubbed the YÄnntua demonstration, on Thursday, February 10th, 2022, in Accra, as the beginning of a nationwide protest and picketing across the breadth of this country. The rationale behind the demonstration is to, amongst other things, 1, give backings to the members of the minority group in Parliament who are fighting at the peril of their lives to stop the Mahmudu Bawumia administration from foisting its unpopular e-levy tax down the throats of the ordinary Ghanaian. 2, demand that the pain of university students at the mercy of the UTAC strike comes to an end. 3, the gratuities of NAPCO trainees and other outstanding arrears owed young people, from teacher trainees to nursing trainees and any other young person who works for this country and has not been paid what is due, that government sees to it that all those people are paid immediately. 3, the weak city and how Mahmoud Bawumia and his administration can arrest it and make it work again. And 5, the nuisance taxes on petroleum products to be rescinded. The objective is to stand in for the citizens of this country who may not have the courage to man up to the intimidation tactics of this government and demand that the Mahmoud Bawumia administration free Ghanaians from the bondage of economic deprivation. Government must immediately honor its obligations to university teachers so they return to the lecture halls. Government should urgently pay NAPCO beneficiaries who are painfully depressed by the insensitivity of this Mahmoud Bawumia administration. We also demand that the price stabilization levy and recovery levy be suspended without fail, and the irrelevant sanitation and pollution levy, all added up to the petroleum build-up, be cancelled. The Ghanaian people have responded overwhelmingly to our call for protest. As a result of this, ladies and gentlemen, leadership of other political parties, civil society organizations, identifiable groups, and Ghanaians of all walks of life have called to join us stage this YÄnntua demonstration. In the spirit of giving Ghanaians who have voluntarily showed support for the YÄnntua demonstration, we thought it prudent that there was the need to join the NDC's efforts to the broader movement in order to provide the space for everyone in this struggle. And this has become necessary because most people are afraid to even come on the platform of the NDC because of how you be tagged and be insulted by the NPP robots on social media. In view of our great efforts to broaden our coalition against this insensitive government and build a true umbrella for all persons and groups against the mess of this NDC government, we are throwing our full support behind a non-partisan coalition. Instead of the NDC staging the demo, we now have an amalgamation of political parties, CSOs, other identifiable groups, etc., coming together under the cloak of the coalition of concerned Ghanaians to stage the YÄnntua demonstration. And along the line, most members of the coalition will be given the opportunity to address you and their concerns brought to bear. As you can see, we have representatives of all groups here to throw their weight behind the demonstration. We pay glowing tribute to our comrades from the Justice for Ghana movement led by Bernard Mona, who have for the past 2 weeks picketed Parliament after their earlier demonstration against the Levy, just before Parliament went on recess. There is an example of sacrifice. Yes, it's an example of sacrifices on March. We entreat all Ghanaians to join in occupying Parliament House until the Levy is rejected. And the nation once again demands your devotion. So we should join hands and occupy Parliament House until NDC finally withdraws the Levy and abandons it. In the history of our independence struggle, it took the initiative of an individual to draw others to the table to fight for our freedom. The NDC and its youth wing is doing the same in this moment of history. The coming together of these groups takes the form and shape of how the struggle for independence started. Ladies and gentlemen, our country in recent times is rolling back on its progress. Times are hard for everyone, and times are hard for the many young people who live in this country. The future looks very bleak, and it has become extremely difficult for families to even feed. We have an ever-increasing public debt, worsening economic conditions, bad government liaised with impunity, stealing, pilfering of the public purse, the use of state security to intimidate citizens, like what we've seen in the issues of Captain Smart and the many other Ghanaian journalists who have been bold enough to speak about the bad governance that this government has given to us so far. State capture through corrupt deals and other provocative happenings in the country. President Nana Addo has not been able to deal with these vices being superintended by him himself to set a good example for his own appointees. It is no longer news to see energetic young men and women of our country idling without jobs. It is almost becoming painfully acceptable to see families struggling to afford a square meal a day. Just 1 meal a day is a problem for many families, and this is not a better Ghana Nana Addo promised the good people of this country. Ghanaians are being coerced to accept that they must give out their little earnings to appointees of this corrupt, dishonest Akufo-Addo government to live a luxurious and ostentatious lifestyle. We cannot continue to fund the incorrigible lifestyles of Akufo-Addo and his appointees. And we say enough is enough. In the midst of all this, there is no conscionable person in the NPP's government, right from cabinet through parliament to the leadership of the NPP, to counsel the president and his cabinet that they must sacrifice by cutting down their profligate spending and bring economic respite for the poor people across the country who are living in extraneous conditions. Instead, those living large at the expense of your taxpayers' money are battle ready to extort more from you through the Levy. This is unacceptable, and we cannot accept this. No leader who has the interest of his people at heart will seek to impose a 1.75, soon to be 1.5 levy on the savings and capital of the already suffering masses of this country. This is not a tax. We emphasize, e-levy is not a tax. So let nobody tell you that e-levy is going to give you development. It is not a tax. It is plain thievery. In the league of the PDS scandal and the Japa scandal. And that is what they want to do to the good people of this country. Already, Ghanaians are saddled with many taxes, resulting in the increases in petroleum products, high tariffs, and if you care to know, in the coming days, your electricity bill will be going up again. Your water bill will be going up again. We understand GPRTU is going to increase fuel price, transport fares by another 30% because of the price build-up. And we believe strongly that most of the taxes out there are nuisance taxes that should not be given the opportunity to see the day of light. Prices of goods and services have gone up. Increases in the cost of living have also affected the livelihood of Ghanaians. Even when Ghanaians have almost unanimously kicked against the introduction of the obnoxious e-levy, the Kufuor Mahmoud Bawumia administration is bent on using all means possible to force it down our throats. And in the last 1 week, we realized that a case that is pending before the Court of Appeal, parliamentary election dispute, which we all know that it is the Court of Appeal that is the highest court that decides such matters. An appeal pending before the court. The court is yet to make a determination. Nana Addo Dankwa and his administration have decided to prosecute our Member of Parliament for Asenoff, who has a case pending and the final determination has not been made. These are desperate times for them, and it's a desperate measure to save a sinking administration. And that we assure them they will feel and will resist it with all the strength and minds we have as young people of this country. The President and his spokesmen have given comic reasons why there is a need to impose the e-levy. The only reason why this government is doing everything possible to impose the e-levy is that Ghana is not credit worthy. Hence, it can no longer borrow or raise bonds on the international market. And I believe that in the last few days, you've seen how we've been downgraded. Today, Ghana on the international market means nothing. We are highly poor and cannot borrow on the market. So they believe that the only way for raising revenue is to impose the e-levy on us. What we are saying is that the e-levy is a no-brainer. In 2009, when President Mills, the late, may he so rest in peace, and his competent vice president and the leader of the economic management team, John Mahama, took over office, when we were faced with challenges, they resorted to innovations like the price stabilization levy that was introduced. Then, financial institutions were made to pay more. They were taxed 5% of their tax before profits. The then finance minister owned a bank, owned an insurance company, but he agreed that financial institutions should be made to pay 5% of their profits before tax into a stabilization account. Same for insurance companies and then the breweries. Today, we know how much the telcos are making. We all understand that last year alone, mobile money transactions exceeded $500 million. What it simply means is that they made more profits. The NDC is not against taxation. All we are saying is that financial institutions are making abnormal profits. What President Mills and President Mahama did, why is Ken Ofori-Atta refusing to tax financial institutions and insurance companies? Because his enterprise group is making so much from the states, and the amount of money they have made in the last 5 years from government transactions is enough to take care of the $6 billion they are seeking to raise from the e-levy. If they want innovation, the NDC have an array of ideas to supply them with. Tax the right sources. The extractive industry is still available. Tax the extractive industry and don't tax the poor Ghanaian who is already suffering at your peril. And these are some of the things we are telling them to do. The President and his spokespersons can do better by giving concrete reasons And they should also tell us how much they are spending on their town halls. Because the amount of money they are spending on their town hall meeting, I am very sure that by the time they are done, they would have spent more than the 6 billion that they intend to recover from the e-levy. It is a wasteful expenditure, and they should desist from embarking on those useless town hall meetings they are undertaking. The YÄnntua administration is in bad need of this levy, not to do the things they claim they are going to do for you. Because when you look at the budget statement for 2022, at the tail end of the expenditure, when you look at what they intend to do and how much money they intend to accrue, clearly all the promises they are making to the good people of this country is a mirage, and they have no intentions of keeping those promises. At the time university students are lazing on campuses because lecturers are on strike, this government is only interested in passing an e-levy. All of a sudden, the economic price of the so-called fantastic economic management team has fizzled out, such that the e-levy has become the savior. Where are the so-called men they claim they had? Where is the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Akutor says, the fantastic team? Where are they? Today, e-levy is the fantastic team they resort to. This is a government that has failed. This is a government that is inept. This is a government that lacks ideas. This is a government that is empty and makes promises that cannot keep. And I can assure you that this government has nothing else to offer to the people of this country. It has become necessary that we join hands with the NDC at this critical time in saving our sinking ship. The direction has been lost on this government. YÄnntua is only living his old age fantasies and doesn't know exactly how this country is being administered. Young people, it is a call to duty. It is our moment, it is our time to join hands with the many well-meaning Ghanaians who want to see a better Ghana, who want to see Ghana move forward in the right direction, who want to see Ghana saved from this clueless administration. This is the time to partner with us, join us with us, and let's build for all of us a better Ghana. Ghanaians cannot be mailed out to clear the economic mess of Mahmoud Bawumia and his fantastic, corrupt economic management team. E-levy is a no-brainer to economic recovery, and we insist that YÄnntua Demo and YÄnntua Demo. To this end, ladies and gentlemen of the press, we call on all Ghanaians, including our brothers and sisters in the NPP, members feeling the pinch, to join our coalition on Thursday, February 10th, 2022 at Obrasport at 7 a.m. to demonstrate our revulsion to this government. All security arrangements are being made, and we can assure you that we will protect lives and properties on that day. Come out in your numbers, join us. Let's devote ourselves to the calling of Mother Ghana. Let's help save Ghana, and let's build for all of us a Ghana that we shall be proud of. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all.